Okay, in this video, we will cover step by step exactly how to make a list like this with direct emails for decision makers at companies that are in any niche of your choosing. First of all, let's quickly talk about what this is going to cost. On Apollo, if you want to be able to export companies and emails, you have to be on a paid plan. They do have a free plan with 100 credits, but then you will not be able to export the companies that you need to do in order to run them in ListFixer to find companies in your niche. For their basic paid plan, you will pay around 50 euros and you will get about 3,000 emails. ListFixer gives you a few hundred credits for free, so you can make a small list for free. But if you want to process several thousand websites, then you will have to pay something like 30 euros. So to create a list with several thousand emails directly to decision makers at specific companies in your niche, we're looking at a total spend of maybe 80 euros. But if you're a real business, obviously that's a very small price to pay in order to make new sales. So let's do it. We're going to work in a spreadsheet in Google Sheets. So I've created two new sheet tabs here called Creating a List and ListFixer. And that is all you're going to need. So now we can head over to Apollo. And now what we need to do in Apollo is find companies that are somewhat relevant to what we're looking for. There are two ways of doing this. One way is easier, the other way is better, and I'm going to show you both. So let's say, for the sake of having an example in this video, our niche is French software companies that have between 10 and 15 employees. Then you would go over to the Companies tab in Apollo, and you would go to Account Location, meaning where the company is located. You would type in France and choose France. Then you would go to the filter for employees and go to Custom Range and type in 10 to 15. Then you would go to the filter for industry and keywords and click down here on company keywords. And then here you would enter in software company, whatever your niche is. Now we need to select some of these companies and export them into our spreadsheet. To do that, you're going to click on this little button, and here you're going to type in how many companies you want to select. I'm going to do 100 because this is just an example and we're not making a big list right now, but you can certainly do several thousand. Click on Apply. If you want to save these companies for later, you can add them to a list, click on Create New List, and then you will find that list of companies in the Lists tab over here to the left. You can also just click on Export, and this menu will pop up. You can ignore everything and just click on Export Records. This is the first and the easiest way of finding and exporting companies. Now I'm going to show you the second way, which is a little bit better. The second way of doing it is to only choose companies that have people with the right job titles that you're looking for and then export those companies. This way, when you go through the whole process and re-import the matching companies back into Apollo, you will know that all the companies that you are importing back that are matching your niche have the kind of job titles that you're looking for. To do this, we will go to the People tab, where you can see all the information for all the people. Here we're going to enter in all the same information that we did in the Companies tab. So location for the companies is France, employee count is 10 to 15. The company keyword that we're using is software. We want to contact CEOs at these companies. So we're going to go to job titles and enter in CEO. Now we can see that there's 1,400 people that are CEOs at software companies in France with 10 to 15 employees. But as I explained in the last video, not all of these companies will actually be software companies. So what you're going to do now is click on this little button here and select all these people. Then this menu is going to pop up and you will click on More Actions, which is this little button with 3 dots to the right. Then you're going to click on this button that says View Companies. This is going to bring you over to the Companies tab, showing you a list of all the companies that all the people that we just saw works at. What you would do next is click on this little button and select all these companies. So I've selected 100 of these companies. Now I'm going to click on Export, and then I'm going to click on Export Records. Now you have to go to your email, check your inbox, and you will have an email from Apollo, and then you click on the Download CSV button in that email. This is going to download a CSV file with all the information for these companies into your Downloads folder. Next up, we can go to Google Drive and just drop this file into Google Drive. It will upload, and then you click on it, and then you open it up as a spreadsheet. Now what you want to do is you want to copy all this information, so you can click in this little box up here in the upper left corner to highlight everything, and then copy all that information, and then go back to your original spreadsheet. Here we are in the ListFixer sheet tab, and then paste in all that information into your spreadsheet. Now this looks very cluttered, but we only need the websites and the company names. So you're going to highlight the column with the websites, pull it over to the left, and then you're going to click here and drag over to the right to highlight all the other columns, double click anywhere, and then delete all those columns. And now we have a list that looks a lot better with company names and websites. And if we scroll down, we can see that we have here 100 companies. Now you're going to click on File and go to Download, and then download this file as a CSV file. Next up is that you're going to go to listfixer.io. This is the website, the platform that we're going to use to filter out all the companies by your niche using AI. So just click on Try for free or use ListFixer up here. That will bring you into the console, the app, the place where you upload the list and write your description and download the results. So we're going to click on Choose File, and then from our Downloads folder we will upload the list that we just exported from Google Sheets. Then you need to select the column with all the websites, but that's already automatically selected. And here comes the important part. Now you have to write a description for the type of company that you're looking for. For the example of this video, we're looking for software companies. I'm going to write software company that offers a software solution online on their platform. When it comes to this description, you can be however specific you want to. If the companies in your list must meet certain criteria, you can start listing that criteria and write a very long description. You can also make a more general filter. Maybe you're just targeting business-to-business companies. Then you can just write B2B companies. The way this works is that AI will read your description, and then it will go onto the website for each company and analyze that company, see what they do, and see if your description matches that company or not. So for each company in your list, AI is thinking, does this company match this description or not? When you have your description ready, you just click on Submit. Then one of these boxes is going to pop up. It's going to start processing your list, showing you here how many websites have we processed, how many websites did we upload. So far, it has processed 7 websites, 5 of them are not software companies, 2 of them are software companies. Down here you can see the description that you used. So for 100 companies, this might take a few minutes. I'm going to get back to you when this is finished. Okay, the list finished processing, and we can see here that 37 out of 100 of these companies match our description. There are 63 companies out of 100 in this list that are not software companies, not in our niche, that we don't want to contact. So we're going to click on Download CSV file to download the results. Here is the results file. Here's Google Drive. Now we just pull this file into Google Drive. It will upload. We open it, and we open it with Google Sheets. So here's the results file, and we have an added column where it says no match or match for each company. So now you just want to highlight all these companies like so, copy this information, move over to your original spreadsheet and paste in the results. So we're in our spreadsheet in the tab called List Fixer. Here are all the companies, here are the results. Now if you want, you can start going into some of these websites to actually see the results for yourself, see that it's correct, see that it worked. But now we're going to highlight this column by clicking at the top. We're going to come over here to this button and create a filter for this column. We're going to click here to open up the filter. Then we're going to deselect the ones that say match. Click on OK, and now we're seeing all the companies that are not matching. So now you want to highlight all these companies that are not matching, double click on them, and delete these rows. And of course you can save them in another tab if you want. Now we can remove the filter, and now we have a clean list only of the companies that are in our niche. So now we're almost finished. Now you're going to go to File, download this file as a CSV file. The next thing to do is to go back to Apollo, and you're going to go to the People or Companies tab. And up here in the right corner, there's a button that says Import. So click on this button and click on Import CSV. Here you can import either people or companies. We're importing companies, so we're going to click on Import Accounts. Select CSV file. Here is the file in our Downloads folder, so let's pull it in. Now you will land in this window where you have some settings for the import, but you don't really need to do anything here. The only thing you need to do is go down here and create a name for the new list that you are creating when you are importing these companies. So I'm going to call this List of Companies that are matches in List Fixer for software. Then we can go ahead and click on Import, and then you wait for a couple of minutes for the list to import, and Apollo is going to connect all the companies in your list to all the data in their database. Once the import is finished, you can go back to the People tab in Apollo. Now we are almost done. Now we just have to export the emails for the CEOs at these companies. To do this, you're going to go to the filters and click on the filter called Lists. Here you can filter on lists in Apollo for people or companies. We're going to filter on lists for companies, so click on companies. And then here it says include lists. Here you click on select lists, and here is the list that we just created. So click on this list, and now we will see that there are 500 people working at these companies that Apollo has emails for. Now you just need to enter in the filter for the job titles. So click on job titles and under include, search for CEO and enter that one. Then you might want to go to email status and check the box that says verified. This will only give you people that have verified email addresses. So here we have 38 results, 38 people that are CEOs at software companies in France with between 10 and 15 employees, and they all have verified email addresses. Now, in order to export this data and the email addresses into your own spreadsheet, go ahead and click on this little button up here, select all of them and click on apply. Then you're going to click on this button in the menu called Add to List. You're going to create a new list, make a name for the list, and click on Update. This will add all of these people and their data and their emails into a list on Apollo, and this is going to spend credits on Apollo. So this is what you're actually paying for on Apollo. You're only paying when you add people into a list. Now you can go over to the Lists tab in Apollo and click on the list here that you just created. Here we are seeing data for 38 people, and we are now seeing their email addresses. Now you can click up here again and select all of them again. And now you can click on export and click on this button, export records. This download button pops up, then click on download. And now we have a file in our downloads folder with all the data and all the emails for these people. So go back to Google Drive, drop the file in here, open it up as a Google Sheet, highlights all the information and copy it. And now we're going to go back to our original spreadsheet in the tab called Creating a List and paste in all this information. And here we go. Here are the emails, the names for the people, the job titles, the companies. There's also a lot of other information in here that you probably don't need. So what I usually do is I remove all the columns that I don't want, make it look a little nicer, make it look like this. And here we are, the list is finished. We have the names for the people, we have the job titles, we have the company names, we have the location of the companies, we have the email addresses, and we have their websites. Now you have a perfect list of email addresses for decision makers at companies in your niche.